Starting out as a pint-sized carnivores is no joke. Everything wants to eat you or just kill you. And I'm just trying to get a little sip of water here when I notice some mixed packers up by the lake. It's got stegos, mayas, hackies, and what I assume, Sarahs. The whole crew. I hid behind this tree, and I decided that I would throw out a very cautious one call to test to see if they were friendly enough to let me get any water at all. After seeing that stego perk up like that, looking way too defensive, I decided no thanks. I'm gonna get out of here. On the way though, I did smell these dots and I grabbed a little quick bite of this boar. Seeing as it wasn't too friendly around these parts, I decided that I would go travel down to South Plains. When I did get to South Plains, it was pretty dark, which, yeah. Although I didn't break my leg, so that's good. I did eventually find this dino carcass. I decided to take an organ and travel up this hill. I didn't really need a whole lot, considering my stomach was almost full. Now, while I was up here, I did spot a small Maya and a small stego. I just wanted to give him a little scare. I didn't really need the food. It was starting to get brighter, so I took some intestines and decided to rest up here. It's when I scared the shit out of this galley and he jumped off the cliff. Now, I don't know why I had been running without my night vision on, but when I turned it back on, this is what happened. Although, once again, I did not take any damage or break any legs. I did see the galley again, though, across the lake. Unfortunately for him, he was getting slaughtered by a raptor. I then decided I would go back to the smaller pond in the area and get some water, but not before I would stop by the dino carcass and grab another organ for the road. There was a stego nearby though. He was just eating some of the bushes, so I figured he probably wasn't too interested in bodyguarding. I would then spend the next, I don't know how long, just eating from this heart and then going and eating some gastroliths. For those that don't know, eating gastroliths gives you the buff ingesting gastroliths, which decreases your hunger for about 1 minute, letting you put more food in your system and grow your dino faster. One thing to note, though, is that organs will rot faster than normal meat. I forgot this. I then decided to make my way back to South Plains, but as soon as I got there, I had been chased by this Maya. Relentlessly. For actual minutes, until I was goddamn near out of stamina. Eventually, I did find myself a nice bush to sit up and rest in. The sound of a pissed off Maya. Also, isn't it kind of crazy how long it takes to drink water in this game? Very carefully, I made my way back to South Plains because that massive Maya herd was still puppy gardening up at the river. I needed food though, desperately, considering how low my stomach was. The deer had only filled my stomach by about 1/3. I was approaching this other meet up here for the lion's diet. It's when I kept on hearing Mayas around, and in the distance, I saw 2 or 3 slowly encircling my area. That's when I decided I didn't have enough stamina to get ran down for another 10 minutes. I decided to leave once again. I decided to go back down towards the beach, but on the way, I spotted this baby dibble. I decided to let him live, partly because I felt bad for him, but mostly because I didn't want the Mayas hearing and running me down. However, when I did make it, I did find this little raptor trying to cross. He went down in a single bite. I needed more food. That's when I spotted this turtle and this crab. Although I literally had 0 stamina left, so this is what we call in the game 0 stamina hunting. After gorging myself on crabs and turtles and filling up my stamina, I decided I was going to need some water. That's when I decided to head back to where it all started. Although the mixed packers were still there, they seemed to be fighting each other. I'm not sure why, but I did want a closer view to watch the show. The dibble started to run up towards me, but seeing my reaction here, he probably realized that I was only spectating and proceeded to turn his attention to the other dinosaurs. When there was an opening, I did decide to grab a little bit of food, but not for me. I decided I was going to be nice and give this little Herrera a little bit more food. I know how difficult reaching the bodies would be for him. Topping off on some water before I decided to head out, but these two raptors came by. Not wanting to fight, I decided to just run past them, but this would not be the last time I see them. However, I did grab a snack on the way out. Now, I didn't know these were the same raptors till I was processing the recordings, but if I knew then what I knew now, I would not have given them a single piece of food. Going back to South Plains, I decided to travel on the left side away from the raptors and nearly got stuck on a cliffside doing so. Twice, mind you. This was just the first. Realizing that I would have to jump my way down, I searched for the safest spot. I did come across a little snack though. Carefully, I crouched down. Back to searching for a way down. I was checking all the angles of the cliffside drop, and I picked the safest spot to drop off from. I slid, I hit a ledge, and slid into some more water, but it seems like I didn't get hurt at all. Still needing to cross the water, one of the raptors was on the other side. He was friendly calling, so I figured since I gave him the gear, that he'd safely let me cross. I was mistaken. After getting pounced by both of them, I swam back across the river, hoping that they would not follow. They did. This battle is going to be long and arduous. The plan that was cooking up in my mind here was to get as much stamina as I could while healing off the bleed as best as I could. Luckily for me, the first mutation I chose was bleed resistance. They had been one calling towards these other raptors across the lake for quite some time now. I decided to do a false charge to try to bait them in. I wanted to get as much hurt on these raptors as possible before backup arrived. Luckily for me, this would have been a far worse scenario if I was out in the open. But with my back to the water and my flank to this rock wall, their openings were minimal. As time went on, their numbers slowly increased from 2 to 3. And once again, as the battle slogged on, their numbers increased from 3 to 4. I spotted a more defensible position right here across the water. One of the raptors boldly jumped across, but took a bite to the face and then jumped over my alt bite. Credit where credit is due, I guess. Throughout this fight, they tried keeping me on my feet, not letting me rest. This is just what raptors do, especially when in a pack. All of the other injured could rest, while the others engaged. However, I did not have that luxury. Now, the second mutation I chose was gastro healing, which, given my body language, I think they figured that out pretty fast. They were not going to let me. After slaying the first two, the other two backed off and rested for now. I would do the same. Although it seemed one was cheeky enough to come back. At this point, I had healed off all of my bleed, and I ran them both down off the beach for good. Or tried to, at least. After filling my stomach and gastro healing as much as I could, I saw my stamina was almost all the way full, as well as my health. This time, I ran them down off the beach for good. For real this time. Good riddance. All of the victory calls I had been doing had started attracting attention to me. Specifically the attention of this small Carno, which was being chased by one of the previous raptors. His name was Marky Mark, and I would spend a while talking with him on the beach. He had just logged in as Carno for the first time after he had gone through some personal stuff, so I listened. But we had spent too long on the beach, and my water was starting to dwindle fast. We had decided to go to the closest water source. On the way, we saw the fourth raptor. I have no idea how we died, though. However, there was a pack of 3 or 4 Sarahs strong at the closest water source, so we decided to cut our losses, and we decided to go for the South Plains River. Now, I didn't have my recording going when I fell off this hill and got my health down to 1 shot, but right after falling and checking my health, I went for the water since I was dehydrating, only to encounter the same Myosaurs from before. And once again, they ran me down for an extraordinarily long time. So long that after I lost them, I was completely out of stamina. And this would be a death sentence. All I could really do at this point was march. Now, I should have either turned left and went north after crossing the river, or just avoiding it entirely and going straight to the small pond I was now headed to. But life doesn't go perfectly. You try your best, you make mistakes, you get run down, you learn. As the saying goes, in the wild, you don't get to choose your battles, but you do get to choose how you fight them. Until next time.